All right, everybody, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining me here tonight on this wonderful Thursday evening. I'm Savannah Louie with Atlanta News First here at the First Alert Desk with 5 major stories that I want to make sure you're aware of as we look forward to ending our night here on May 4th. May the 4th be with you, right? We're going to start off here with a big update to a major breaking story we were following all day yesterday. I know that this is something that many of you may have received alerts on your phone about. A major issue, mass shooting in Midtown Atlanta. Again, this happening yesterday. And if you followed along with us from the very beginning, starting at noon yesterday on Wednesday, you know that they eventually caught the person, the suspect in this case, around 8 o'clock last night. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a picture of this person for you who police believe is responsible for shooting 5 women at Northside Medical Center. Here is that person right here, Dion Patterson. Now again, police believe that Patterson entered the Northside Medical Center yesterday, and around noon he arrived and he shot 5 women in a waiting room. We're told that Dion is currently sitting in Fulton County Jail. That's what you're looking at right here on your screen. He was set to appear in court this morning, but he waived the right to see a judge today. Now, this is fairly common, especially in high-profile cases like what we're having right now. What it means here is that Patterson did not have a formal reading of the charges against him. He's currently facing 1 count of murder and 4 counts of aggravated assault. I want to go back in time, though. If you are not super familiar with this story, I want to show you a scene from Midtown Atlanta yesterday. This is what we saw yesterday. Streets completely filled with law enforcement, more than half a dozen agencies on the ground looking for that man, Dion Patterson, for about 8 hours here. And the search spanning from Midtown Atlanta all the way up to Cobb County, where Patterson was eventually found. Police and law enforcement agencies say that they were able to track him down using technology, camera systems within the city, and then also finally receiving a tip from neighbors who said that they thought they saw him at a condo complex, and that's where they were eventually able to take him down. Now, police tell us that they believe that he carjacked a vehicle at a nearby gas station very close to this medical center, and that's how he was able to get away and make his way up to Cobb County. Now, I told you that there were 5 victims. 1 of those women has passed away. 4 remain in the hospital, like Grady Hospital. And Atlanta News First spoke with some people who knew these victims. Our Zach Summers has that report. I want to play that for you right here.
It just, shock, like that's one of our own.
Joy Shambly thought the worst when she learned her dear friend of nearly 15 years, Alicia Hollinger, was one of 5 women shot inside Northside Medical Wednesday afternoon.
At first, we didn't know that if she was okay. And so, of course, there was initial grief.
Joy said Alicia recently went back to working in the healthcare industry. The two bonded over their faith and ministry.
Alicia's just one of those people that make you feel better about yourself, that she's incredibly smart, just incredibly, always finds the positive. She's incredibly creative.
Alicia and 3 other women survived the deadly shooting. The married mother of 3 was shot in the face. Lisa Glenn was shot in the stomach. The eldest, 71-year-old Georgette Whitlow, was shot in the arm. Jasmine Daniel, the youngest survivor, was shot in the chest and stomach.
2 of the 3 in critical care are going back to the operating room today for additional procedures. The 3rd patient is stable. Hopefully we'll be able to move out of the ICU today.
I spoke to Jasmine's mother over the phone Thursday morning. Centrishula Daniel told me her daughter worked as a receptionist at Northside, but newly accepted a teaching job.
It's devastating to see her like that, knowing that she just went to work. And to get a phone call that, your day has been turned, your life has been turned upside down is devastating.
Ms. Daniel said it's too soon to tell what Jasmine's future will hold. She's currently intubated, but she has a 1-year-old son at home. Her mother had this to say to the gunman.
He should have been in his bed and not my child.
And again, that was our Zach Summers there reporting. Really tough story to cover. We have so much more on the aftermath of this Midtown shooting that again occurred yesterday. And if you want to look for more information, including listening to some of those 911 calls, we have interviews with experts as well as the suspect's mother who shared her insight into what happened here. We have all of that information just for you at AtlantaNewsFirst.com. You can also join us tonight on Peachtree TV at 9 and 10 for the latest updates, and then WANF at 11 o'clock. All right, I want to move along here to another story impacting every single person who lives here in Georgia. We're talking about election season. I know it sounds like it is so far away, but before you know it, 2024 is going to be here, and we have new information today. We now know when you will head to the polls for the presidential primary. That date here in Georgia is going to be March 12th. Now, we heard from Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger today as he made this announcement. I'm going to play for you what he had to say.
Once again, Georgia will be at the center of the national focus, and we believe that's a good thing. Our voters are diverse, they're smart, and they're politically savvy. And because Georgia is the bellwether state, if you can win Georgia, you will win nationally.
Those are such powerful words. If you can win Georgia, you will win nationally. Now, he also added there will be 2 weeks of early voting prior to that primary. So again, that date is March 12th. Put it on your calendar. I know all of you are going to want to make your voices heard as we gear up for a major election cycle here in the U.S. All right, I want to move ahead to another story. This is new information just into our newsroom within the past 10 minutes here from the GBI, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Now, I don't have any video to show you here about this incident, but I do want to make sure that we cover it because it's pretty important, especially considering the context of we just had a mass shooting here in Midtown Atlanta. Right now, the GBI is investigating the deaths of 4 people in Moultrie, Georgia. That's in Colquitt County, about 200 miles south of Atlanta. But I still think it's pretty important here. The new information we're getting from the GBI states that the suspected shooter is a 26-year-old, Kentavious White of Moultrie, Georgia. Earlier today, police found a man and a woman who were found dead at a McDonald's restaurant in Moultrie. They found a third person dead at a home next door. All GBI agents are investigating those deaths at separate scenes, believing that they are connected. They saw surveillance video which revealed that White went to the restaurant, got his manager to come to the door, again, that McDonald's. That suspect is believed to have shot the manager, killing her, and then he's later seen taking his own life inside that restaurant. Now, there are 2 other female victims, both in separate homes, both related to White, according to interviews with witnesses here. We're still learning more information about this, and again, if you watched our earlier afternoon shows, this is something that we did talk about on WANF, so I wanted to make sure that we brought you the latest news, the latest update on that, because I know it was pretty upsetting to talk about, but still always important. I know a lot of people worried about safety, so we wanted to make sure that we got that in for you tonight. And then our final story for tonight, I had to leave it on an interesting note here. We're going to end things on a bit of a positive note, and I know many of you are looking forward to summer vacations or getting away, whether it's for a week, a month, or even just a day. At this point, I'll take a night. I don't need much. I know many of you are feeling the same way. It's always good to get away. Here could be a cheaper option to make your vacation possible. Airbnb just launching a budget-friendly listing category. It's called Airbnb Rooms. You can rent a private bedroom instead of the whole house. And that's not new, but there are some added features. So these added features are new. The listings will very clearly indicate whether these bedroom doors have locks and whether bathrooms are private or shared. I don't know about you, but I do not want to share a bathroom with anyone else, and I need my door to have a lock as well. All right, you can also see if anyone else is going to be home at the same time as you, if you're interested in renting one of these rooms. And there will also be more information about them. So again, this is called Airbnb Rooms. The feature has actually been around for a while. I've actually used that feature myself, just not the new upgraded feature, which sounds like it could be a lot safer and a lot more reasonable, I think, for a young woman, first of all, but for any of us out there who are looking for an easy and affordable way to get away. Like I said, Lord knows we could all use a vacation right about now. Anyways, on that note, I have something absolutely beautiful to show you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's, by the way, 8:11. We're taking a look at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, CNN Center over there on the left-hand side of your screen, and Centennial Olympic Park with the most beautiful sunset tonight. And the only thing that looks better than this view is my good friend and our #1 meteorologist, Patrick Pete. Hey, Patrick.
What's going on?
Did you like how I said you were our #1 meteorologist?
Yes, I enjoyed it thoroughly. Thank you for the compliment.
Hey, did I pull up the right graphics for you? Is
You
that right?
did.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
What's going on, everybody? Good evening. Actually, no, that's not right.
Oh, no.
It's all good. We can switch it up. I'm gonna leave it. I'm leaving on Mercedes-Benz. Looking beautiful out there. Happy
Thursday.
Thursday.
Oh, I know. They are all blending together.
It is. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hopefully you all are having a fantastic evening. I am. We are here at Atlanta News First. Looking at a good mix of sun and clouds out there. Actually, sun is setting and the skies are a little bit more cloudy than they have been in quite some time. So I know a lot of you are looking forward to the weekend, probably making some plans to get out and about. And I'm going to try to help you with that. I want to try to help you figure out. There we go. I want to help you figure out what you can do and when you can do it. Part of that involves taking a look at the forecast ahead. Now, some good news in the forecast for tonight. I don't know if you got a peek of that, but temperatures are not going to be as cold as they've been the last few nights. The main reason for that is the fact that we have more cloud cover around. You may hear us say this pretty quickly, probably within 10 seconds of our weathercast often, but we'll say that clouds are essentially our thermal blanket for the night. The way that things work in the daytime, not to get too scientific, but hey, this is the platform for it. In the daytime, we get solar radiation that comes in, right? So when you have sunny skies, you typically, depending on the direction of the wind and everything else, you get warming during the day because of the sun rays. At night, when you have clear skies, you get what we call terrestrial radiation, but radiation from the earth outward. Whenever you have clouds, or whenever there's an absence of clouds, it essentially just escapes the atmosphere of the earth. Whenever you have clouds, essentially that radiation is bounced off of the clouds and then re-radiated back downward. And that essentially keeps us a little bit warmer. So not to give you a big old science lesson, but that's why we always mention the thermal blanket, because normally we'll be a couple degrees warmer depending on the winds and everything else that's in place whenever we have more clouds around. And that's exactly what's going to unfold tonight. Instead of being in the 40s and near 50, we're going to have most locations in the low to mid 50s to start off the day tomorrow. So let's talk about these rain chances, because you've seen it. You know that it's coming. You have the First Alert Weather app, so you see that those rain chances are increasing over the next couple of days. Now, a good way to visualize this is to determine exactly how much rain and the intensity of the rain, how much we're going to get, and if there's probably going to be thunderstorms. You can kind of tell all of this from these little graphs that we show you, because whenever you don't see yellows and reds, that's a good thing. That means that the rain that's coming in isn't going to be too overwhelming. There's no first alerts in the forecast because these showers look to just be nuisance at best. This isn't going to be something that's going to impact any of your major plans outdoors, unless you were maybe getting married and you didn't want to get any sprinkles on you at all outside. That would be the only way this would really impact you. So rain opportunities, 30, 40% at best over the course of the next few days. Here's our first chance for rain tomorrow. We did bump that to about 30% because we do expect some rain to build into the area as we head into the afternoon. The morning is looking cloudy, and we're going to be looking at milder temperatures. But as we head into the afternoon, that's whenever we're going to see that round of rain really start to push into the area. Unfortunately, 3 to about 6. That's whenever the bulk of that moves in. Nothing too overwhelming. It's just going to be rain. Everybody's going to be okay. It's going to slow you down on the interstate, maybe 5 minutes. As long as you pack your patience, things are going to be pretty good. Hour by hour forecast is going to show that because we're looking at clouds, rain, and an easterly component to the wind, those numbers are going to be a little bit cooler tomorrow than they were today. So we're going to get into the 60s pretty quick pretty quickly by around lunchtime. But then we're headed for 70 by the time the kids get out of school, and then we're going to be descending. I think we top out at around 71 degrees as we head into tomorrow, low 70s across the region. Meanwhile, as we head into Saturday, that rain chance is earlier on. So some scatter showers early morning. By the time most of you get up and get out and about, which is around 9, 10 o'clock, we're just going to be dealing with cloudy skies. Something else that's going to be setting up on Saturday, which is going to make for a very interesting forecast. You may also hear us use the term cold wedging. Essentially, whenever you get an easterly wind, northeasterly wind, it typically brings in cooler, drier air, especially this time of year. Always it's going to be cooler and drier, but this time of year it normally has a bigger impact. And we're going to see that unfold on Saturday because that northeasterly breeze looks like that wedge is going to set up just on the eastern periphery of Metro Atlanta, which means that places like Blairsville, Dawsonville, Lawrenceville, Athens are only going to climb into the low 60s, mid 60s at best for some of them. Whereas, look at LaGrange. They're going to be at nearly 80 degrees. So we're going to be talking about a 20-degree temperature departure across our region that we forecast for, all because of that easterly breeze and its impact. 60 degrees in Dawsonville at 5, meanwhile, near 80 in LaGrange, 77 in Thomaston. We're going to be closer to 70 here in Atlanta, but a lot of folks will not get that warm. So whenever we talk about this temperature forecast on Saturday, we're talking about that wedge, and we're mentioning these eastern and northeasternmost communities because you're going to see a cooler temperature than we will here in Atlanta. And if you're down in LaGrange, Meriwether, Troup County, Ups and Butts County, you're going to be a little bit warmer. So, our goal is to make sure that everybody, no matter where you are on the map, you have that idea of what you could expect for the forecast on Saturday. Breaks in the clouds as we head into the evening. Will still be mostly cloudy through the evening hours. That rain chance is just as low for Sunday, so nothing too overwhelming. It's going to be cloudy. Temperatures, though, are going to rebound because those winds are going to start to shift, and I do expect us all to climb into the 80s. And that warmer than average trend is going to linger into the start of next week, which is why we're going to see these numbers get above average for the first time in quite some days. We're talking about sailing towards the mid 80s by Tuesday, Wednesday, and then upper 80s by next Thursday. Good evening, Max. Hopefully everything is good with you, buddy, tonight. Who else is on the line? Max is on the line on Instagram, on Facebook. Hello to everybody that's at home watching us on Roku, Amazon, all those other digital platforms that we're on. YouTube, folks, I see you over there. Hopefully you're having a fantastic Thursday evening. Yeah, so here's that 7-day forecast where, of course, your weekend is in view and there are rain chances, but they're on the lower end. Nothing to cancel your outdoor plans for. This is really just one of those weekends where it's a good idea to have the first alert weather app, and we always tell you that you should have it because it's our best way to get pertinent information weather-wise to you. But in this case, for the weekend, with these spotty showers that are going to be around, it'll at least give you that heads up. Hey, rain is in moving into your area. I don't expect much in the way of lightning this weekend, but as we head into next week, that'll be something as well. Isolated instances of lightning inside of these thunderstorms. They're going to be pretty isolated, but you'll know if they're moving into your region, 3 miles, 5 miles, 8 miles. Our app will let you know exactly where that's happening. So it is Thursday night, and y'all know it is dinner time for me. I'm thinking shrimp tacos just because I'm feeling like shrimp tacos. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic dinner and you will join us after dinner because there's a lot going on. Unfortunately, we all know about the events of this week, and praying for all the families that are involved, praying for healing. And our team is hard at work digging into the details, finding out as much information as they can about specifically the victims and their families. They're grieving at this time, but also the incidents, how they unfolded, and they're going to have the latest recap of all of that and everything that they've uncovered over the course of the last couple of hours. So I'll have that for you at 9 and 10 and on Peachtree TV, and of course on Atlanta News First at 11. So with that, I'm going to leave you all with the 7 days so that you can make your plans, and we will see you later on this evening.